All right, so we're just gonna do a little bit of practice. We're gonna be doing practice as we go through all these different types of things. So we're gonna be starting with practicing our pivots and joins. So I've made some data here. You can copy this data, this code to create this data out of the slides, or you can just type it down from here. I guess that might be a little difficult. But what I want you to do is take these data sets. I want you to first take data 1 and pivot it so that it is one observation per month per category. You can see right here we have 1 row per month. We've named the months as well. And then we've got sales information and also R&D information for the budgets. Then I want you to join it with data 2, maintaining both of those categories. So here we've got just the information on who is the director of sales, who are some person named Levy. And I want you to join those together. And I want you to do this while maintaining both categories. So we've only got the sales information here, but I want you to keep the R&D data in the data set after you do your pivot. One thing to note here is that we have 2 variables here, both month and month name, that are going to be in our pivot. And also the name of the department variable is department. So we're going to need to set that when we are doing our pivot. So I'm going to pause the video, work through this task, and then I will come back and show you how it is done. All right, we're back. So let's see how we can do this. So here's how we can pivot. And I'm going to copy this out and so we can walk through it sort of step by step as well. You can see it in action. The Tidyverse first. So let's look at our data. Here's what it looks like. Here's what that looks like as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to pivot it. So I'm going to start out by just saying, okay, let's pivot longer. We know we want to pivot longer because we've got one variable split across multiple columns. What columns do I want to do? Sales RD. And let's just see if that works all by itself. I didn't give it a data set. That's probably important. Data 1. There we go. That looks like it works just fine. It doesn't name the variables appropriately, but other than that, we are good to go. And this is the nice thing about pivot longer. This is one of the things that makes pivot longer actually a lot easier than a lot of other functions that do this same task, is that I don't have to worry so much about figuring out which variables stay and which variables change. I can just tell the variables that change and it will figure out the rest for me. Now I do want to name things appropriately. So let's say names to, that's going to be department. We want it to be department so that it matches our data to, because we can then join on it. And I want to do values to, did I say what I wanted you to name that? I think I did. I did not. Let's call this budget. Look at this. Now notice, by the way, I'm not overwriting anything like that because I'm just trying things out. And I'm writing this one line at a time and checking my work as I go along so that I can see whether it worked properly. And it looks like it did. I got 1 row per month per department, and I got the budget information for that department in that month. Great. Now I'm going to want to join it with data 2, maintaining both categories. So I'm going to do a join. I know I'm going to want to join in some way with data 2. And I'm going to say by equals department. But then which join will I do? I want to keep both categories, which means that I'm going to have a value that's not going to find a match, right? R&D is not going to find a match in terms of who its director is, but I want to keep R&D anyway. So I can pick any option that keeps a non-match from the first data set that I have, right? Because this is my first data set. It's the one that has the non-matching value. So left join would work for that because it will keep a non-matched value from the left. Even though it won't keep a non-matched value from the right. I could also do full join, which will keep non-matched values from either. In this particular case, because there's no non-matched values in data 2, it won't make a difference which one of these I pick. So let's go ahead and do this one. There we go. So now we got Levy brought in as the director. I've maintained all the R&D values, and we are good to go. And that's it. And then I might save this as something. Let's say joined data. Like that. I can look at joined data, make sure that it looks as I expect it to do. And we're good to go. All right, that is our practice for this before we move on to the rest of our, now we have our tidy data and we can start working on making it fit for our analysis.